So I'm going to do a quick introduction. So this is Strengthening Your Client Servicing. This is with our Chief Relations Officer, Veronica Lee, and one of our Advisor Service Associates, Daron Jennings, and they're going to be going through how to boost your relationships with your clients. Thank you so much, Veronica, for today, for joining us, and thank you to Daron, who you'll see a little later. Take it away, Veronica.
Thank you so much, Ashley, and hello, all of you out there in RPAG land. My name is Veronica Lee, and I am RPAG's Chief Relations Officer, and that means that I am responsible for your client service experience at a high level. I represent leadership, and so on behalf of all of us at RPAG, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for trusting in us. We do not take that lightly, and I'm excited to talk today about one of my favorite topics, which is client servicing. I have been on the management team at RPG for a very long time, and I'm going into my 25th year here in the new year. And the majority of that time has been spent not just in management, but in direct client servicing of plan sponsors. So it was only a handful of years ago that I stopped, but for the majority of all of those decades, I had anywhere from 40 to 60 clients that I was servicing, and right near the end, truly plan assets upwards of hundreds of millions of dollars. So I have been in the trenches. I know what that's like. I speak with advisors every day. I promise you that client servicing isn't easy. It takes very much effort. I would often hear that grabbing a new client is harder than keeping one. And I'll tell you that I've never thought that to be true. Holding on to our clients is always a challenge. Every advisor out there is prospecting on them. And so I needed to have really wonderful relationships and provide lots of value to my plan sponsor clients, not just this year, not just next year, but every year that I retain them. And so these year-end tasks and preparation is one of the ways that we as an organization did it, that I as an advisor did it. And I'm excited today to share that with you, because we at RPAG support your servicing of clients. We want you to hold on to them for a very, very long time. So with that, I will go through our agenda, which is on the next slide here. Like I said, we have at RPAG a variety of tools that we know are instrumental in helping you maintain your client relationships. I was excited to talk today about our client advocacy report, because I think it's one of the lesser known reports that among our membership, but what an instrumental one. I'm sure you'll agree with me once I go through with it, that it's important to know what that is, be able to create it, and deliver it to your plan sponsor client. So I'm going to go through that. Client servicing, service plans and scheduling to-dos. These are all tasks that I would make sure that I did at the end of every year and reset for the new year with my clients, so that they always knew when they were going to hear from me and for what reason. And so I'll talk about the importance of those. And then my friend Daron Jennings, he will pop up on camera soon, will show you the functionality in the RPAG portal, so that you can be comfortable knowing that you can easily you have access to everything I talk about, and you can easily create these reports. So that's what our goal is for today. But I do want to start off with that client advocacy report, which is on the next slide. A sample is listed here. The print is very small. Don't strain yourself to read it. But in essence, this is a letter that an advisor can create in the RPAG portal with the intention of delivering it to their plan sponsor client. And just like the title says, you are showing how you have been a wonderful advocate for your client, for your plan sponsor throughout the entirety of that year. So it just we refresh this letter every single year. So I put up here the sample of the one that we used last year, and we are currently working on one with refreshed verbiage for 2025. But as you can read here, we tell in this letter our clients that we are excited to enter into a new year, that we're preparing for that we're so grateful to partner with them and the retirement committee on the success of their retirement plan. And it gives some information about the market, as well as then lists out all of the things that the committee has accomplished with regard to the retirement plan throughout that year. So it's a summary of all the activity, and it celebrates that accomplishment because, as we all know, our clients are running businesses and their retirement plan is typically only a part of the duties. They usually have other primary responsibilities with regard to the running of their business, whatever that is. They're not experts in the retirement plan, yet this is a heavily regulated environment, and that's why they've engaged your services, of course, to help them with that. And so, what a wonderful idea in this client advocacy report to, at the end of the year, show gratitude for their partnership and for engaging with you, and to list out all of the activity and accomplishments that the retirement committee has done throughout the year. Now, obviously, the subtlety here is no secret that when you deliver this report to them, of course they truly should be proud of themselves for everything that they've done in meeting their fiduciary obligations with regard to the plan, but they've done it with you. And so this absolutely reinforces the value that you have given them. And you all are so humble. I talk with you all, like I said, every day, many of you on the phone at our in-person events. You're all very humble. What I think is important, though, is that in the delivery of this letter to your plan sponsor clients, that you're reminding them of the tremendous value that you bring. Because you're so humble, you never go into your committee meetings and say, look at all the great work I've done for you. You should, because I know how hard you work. But that's never been the MO of an RPAG advisor. An RPAG advisor works hard and lets the hard work show their value. But this letter, I'm telling you, is critical to deliver to them. And in our portal, so how we've designed this letter is to include sample wording on every possible service that you could have possibly provided them throughout the year. And then the idea is for you to go into it, customize it, and for specific for the plan, for what you did with them during that year, finish it up and then deliver it to them. And so what we see is this report is delivered really as soon as the new template is ready, which should be within the next truly 7 days or so. And we will announce, we at RPAG will announce that this is ready. So you'll see it in our spotlight. You'll see it in our retirement newsletter that goes out every week. It's called the Retire Minute, and in our video too. So don't worry, you'll definitely be informed that this is ready. And then Duran in just a little bit will show you how easy it is to find it, create it, customize it for the plan sponsor. I don't mind sharing with you that we at RPAG are looking at ways to enhance this process, because right now the process to create this report is just like I've described, where we've put in all the sample verbiage, and then you're going to go in and customize it yourself, and then our system will generate it. Well, what we're working on, I don't mind sharing with you, it's so exciting, and you're having the insider's view, is automating this report. So soon, this report will actually know, since you used our system to create investment reports, right? We know what investment changes, for example, that you've recommended to your clients. It'll be able to pull that into this report. If you created a fee benchmarking and perhaps you garnered a fee reduction on their behalf, we'll have, if you created that report in our system, it'll pull that into this report. and you'll need to customize it even less. So as always, that's our goal at RPAG, is for you to be able to be as efficient as possible with your time. Let us do the heavy lifting for you. We create the report. Our system allows you to create it with just a few clicks, and then you'll be able to deliver this to your clients. They'll get this and they'll be reminded of all the hard work, again, that they did with regard to the retirement committee. And they'll also be reminded that this was not possible without you being their advisor. You're their advocate. You work hard for them. So that's what this report is. Again, I've seen it delivered, again, anytime from when it's first available. So, let's say, what are we, end of November here? All the way through to, I would say, the end of January. I've seen this delivered to plans, customized, delivered to plan sponsors and to their clients to say, here's what we did for you. Another year behind us, and here's what we did with you. Congratulations. So I hope that you will agree with me that this is an important deliverable. And what a wonderful time of the year at the end of the year when things kind of slow down due to the holidays is we have perhaps some time to put this together. Not that it takes too long. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Duran. Would you mind showing our membership how easy this, where it is in our system and how easy it is to put it together? So Duran is one of our advisor service associates, which means that his position is to be a ninja, I like to say, in the navigation of the RPAG advisor portal. He knows all the ins and outs of it, and he's going to be always happy to serve, as are his colleagues. They're the ones that answer the front lines of answering your phone calls and emails when you contact us at RPAG. So Duran, thank you for joining us on camera here. And will you take it away?
Absolutely. Thank you for that introduction. That was amazing. And yeah, this is, like Veronica just said, my name is Duran Jennings. I am an ASA here, and I'm going to show you how to create this client advocacy report. It is one of our system's most important deliverables that we do have, and it is one that really shows the value, itemizing all that you have done throughout the year, as well as it helps ensure that everything within the business is running smoothly when presenting these type of reports. So without further ado, let's see. I'm going to show you how to create one. So first, we're going to click on the client that we wish to run the client advocacy report for. You can see here that I have my webinar client created. And with this, you want to come over, you're going to see the meeting minutes, meeting agenda, the provider notices, and then you can see the client advocacy report. Once you select the client advocacy report, we're allowed to give this a name. So as this is going into the end of 2024, this is going to be something that is definitely very, very beneficial in helping you carry your momentum over from year to year. And with this, we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to name it Client Advocacy for 2024. Then we can see here that we have a sample template that if we have already created one, or we can use the client advocacy report that we here at RPAG have created. Once we do that, it's automatically going to populate with those sections that Veronica was going in depth with the introduction, some of the notes here, along with the fiduciary education section, the investment analysis, the plan expense monitoring, our plan design, and then employee engagement and client advocacy. When we go through these sections, you can see each one of these sections is unique in its own right. If you ever want to edit any of the information, the main points we do have that need to be edited, you are able to see they are either in red or will be italicized, bolded here, so that you know exactly what you need to change within the client advocacy report. Yet again, showing how we really want to do all the heavy lifting for you so that you can really focus on getting out there and winning more business. And then you also have the ability to highlight some of your own information, edit it, redact any information that you don't want, that you want to add. If you want to change any of the formatting of the font, you can do that. You can change the size, you can underline, bold, italicize any information that you want, as well as really get creative with, adding in bullet points and much, much more. And it's very important to know that as you change this information, if it ends up being some information that I want to have for my webinar client, and I want to be able to keep the same information over for ABC company, I can do that as well. All we would need to do is just create a template. I'm going to show you how to do that here towards the end of this, but we also do have a custom section. So if there is any section that we did not cover above, you are allowed to change the name of them if you wish to. But if you want to keep what we do already have and add in your own section, you can do that as well. All you would need to do is just hit the plus icon, make sure the box is checked so that it appears, and then you can name the custom section whatever it is that you desire. Once you do that, add in any descriptions as well. Description. And then from there, if we do not wish to have that, we can always delete that report as well. We can also expand any of our sections if we want to see them all the information that we have input into those sections, we can do that as well. We have our closing at the bottom, and we have the opportunity to add in a company logo if we do wish to show that on the output of the report. So with all of this information that I've just added from my own custom section, changing, redacting, whatever it is, when I do hit save as template, it is going to be one that I can name it whatever I want. So for this, I can literally name this, we'll name it the client advocacy, and then I'll name it for the year end. Once I name it that year end, once we do that, this is now going to be something that as I go to create another one, we always want to make sure that we hit save when finishing these reports. So if I go to create another client advocacy report, I'm able to select that template that I just created. You can see that client advocacy year end template that I just created, and it's going to have all of the sections, all of the information that I have just added previously for the webinar client. I can bring over for ABC company, 123 company, whatever it is, helping you get back to saving that time. Just another way here at RPAG that we like to work. And then the output of the report will look something like Veronica was showing on her slide, with the introduction, what all happened, all of the highlights, itemized values from the advisor, what they have done, completed, and everything that occurred over the course of the year. Of course, you will be changing this information to see what you would like to see, but this is what the output of the report will look like. So you can see very fast, very efficient, and very quick, all giving you the information that you need, providing your clients. And I'm going to pass it back to Veronica. She's going to start to expand more on the service plans.
Actually, Daron, we have a couple of questions before you go.
Yeah.
One for me and one for you. The one for you first. What's the recommended browser for the RPAG portal?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The most recommended browser that we have seen is Microsoft Edge, but I do tend to tell members, especially, your company should have a recommended browser. I like to use Google Chrome because that is the one that I have gotten the best results with, but I have seen many members tell me that their company highly recommends Google or Microsoft Edge. So I would first just confirm with your company. And then if you have the option, I would probably recommend Google Chrome myself, but it is all completely up to you.
Perfect, Daron. Thank you. And then the
Yes.
other question is for me, which is how would you recommend delivering the report? You can email it, but it might not be read if it's in a meeting. Might mean, it could be a lot to read. So I have seen that I would deliver these actually via email. And you're right. It may not be read, right? Each of us need another work email, like like we need a hole in the head is the expression, right? However, I think most of our business partners, our clients, are good at reading emails from us because from their advisor, because they know that you do not send anything frivolously. So I do think that it would be read. I do recommend it being delivered to the entire committee, not just your main contact. But I do think that as well, you can deliver this during a meeting. Now, for my clients that I saw quarterly, I think this would be very easy to mention during one of those meetings. For the client that I saw annually, I think it would be a little bit tougher because you're delivering the services and then you're going to say, and here's a letter for the services I just delivered. Although, of course, many of the services that you deliver are behind the scenes, again, adding to the importance of the delivery of this letter. If I were to do this in person, I refer to it. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I did send a letter just congratulating all of you. If you have a committee or if it's just the decision maker, congratulating you for the work that you've done on your plan this year. You take your fiduciary obligations incredibly seriously. And this is a very nice summary of all of that activity that took place and a reminder of all the thing, of all of that. So I would mention that. I'm not going to read it for you line by line because we would be here for such a long time. Again, the subtlety that you've done a lot, right? That's what we want. But I would say, I would probably mention one or two of the larger, more important changes. But as a reminder, we were successful in negotiating with your current provider, record keeper, a reduction in your fees. So that's listed in this letter. As a reminder, we eliminated some duplication of asset classes in your investments. So making a more focused menu. But I won't read everything here. For goodness sake, we'd be here such a long time and we have a full agenda. I'll let you read it at your leisure, but it's a really nice summary of all of the wonderful things you've done with your plan as a fiduciary this year, right? Everybody wants to be told that they did a great job. So that's how I would deliver that in person. But I would probably definitely send an email. And so you can do it both ways is what I would say. Now, snail mail, US mail, I'm not sure that's out of the question. I mean, for goodness sake, I think if I got a letter that wasn't a bill, I would be very excited. And again, anything that I feel like you as their trusted advisor sends them, regardless of the method, they're going to give attention to. All right, so that's our questions. Let's go on, Daron, to our next topic, which is, I think, client servicing. And here is a snapshot of the portal with regard to that. And we've designed it to be user-friendly, to be easy for you to be able to see all of your clients at once and some preliminary information about them. And so this is kind of like the summary slide. And again, in just a few, when I turn it over to Daron, he'll give you more information on this. Move to that next slide for me. And I'd like to talk now about service plans. So hopefully everyone has implemented service plans because their purpose, there's a duality to their purpose. A service plan is a document created by the advisor to be delivered to the plan sponsor client that lists all the services that you will be delivering to them per your agreement, a brief description, when those services are proposed, the month that they're proposed, and then when that service is delivered, we document that here as well in that far right-hand column. And we go throughout the year with the delivery of service and updating this document so that, again, your client always knows when they're going to hear from you and what's the next service that they're going to receive from you. So that when a prospective advisor calls on your client to try to win them away from you, I promise you one of the first questions they ask is, when was the last time you've heard from your advisor? And so you want your clients, right? That a prospective advisor trying to steal your business is hoping that you haven't delivered any services and haven't seen them in a long time. So having this service plan delivered to your clients, when they get that question, you'll say, well, as a matter of fact, I see them quarterly and I'm about to see them in a couple weeks here. And I even know what exact service they're going to be delivering to me, so that it negates that door of opportunity for a competing advisor. So delivering this service plan is critical. Again, lists out what services you're going to be delivering for the year and when specifically, what month they're proposed to be delivered. And then when they are delivered, we document that exact date here. And at every meeting, I would go over this. Here's what we've done so far. Here's what we've planned for the rest of the, here's what we're doing today. Here's what we've planned for the rest of the year. Keeps everyone on track. The other purpose, that's the main purpose of the service plan. The other purpose is that it helps me as an advisor plan the work and my activity and the reports that we need to be generated on a calendar year basis. So if I have all of this information input into the RPAG system, I can look to see how many meetings am I going to be conducting in January, how many in Feb, how many in March. And if I have planned for myself a lot of meetings in March or April because scores are coming up, then I think and I don't have as many the month before, I may want to massage my service plans a little bit so that my work or the work of a person supporting me, their work, if they're helping you create these reports, is, manageable is the word that I'm looking for. Manageable throughout the year. You know what types of reports you are on the hook for that year and how many of them. So that's the beauty of the service plan. Before I turn it, and Duran will show you this as well, but before I turn it over to him, I do want to talk about, I think it's to-dos and calendaring or scheduling on the next slide. Duran, will you forward it for me, please? Yes. So this is another wonderful way of keeping me on track for the year, is to actually, in addition to knowing what reports will need to be created, this will tell me what meetings need to be scheduled as well, right? So first you schedule the meeting, then you have the reports, then you know what reports you need to do. And keeping track of all of that manually is a lot. So this functionality helps with that, plan out your year. And then the to-do functionality for any other tasks that you may want to manage, we have that functionality for you as well. I have a couple of comments, and there's some kudos for the service plan, which is wonderful, but it looks like they're hoping for a refresh on the appearance. And so thank you for that feedback. I will let our marketing team know. We're always looking for ways to refresh our reports. You didn't have to be anonymous. It would be okay. We're always happy to get feedback, but we're welcome to get it anyway, whether you want to identify yourself or not. We're happy to receive it. But the top looks like an Excel spreadsheet. Oh no, it's not what we want it to look like. So thank you for that. I will let our marketing team know that there's opportunity for enhancement in its appearance. And with regard to the colors, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think it's customizable, the colors. You don't have to go with how we've created it, but I will let Duran address that when the time comes. And then was there one more slide before I gave it over to you, Duran, or was this the point where I've spoken way enough? And so for all of these wonderful resources that I've let our members know about, Duran, will you please show them how easy it is to access and put these things together in our portal?
Yes, absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're back at the home screen, and what you want to do for the first tool that Veronica spoke of was client servicing. So with the client servicing, you're going to click on menu, and then under practice management, all the way down here, you're going to see client servicing. When we open up the client servicing, you're going to be able to see with dynamic widgets all the plans that you do have with service plans and all the plans that you don't have on service plans, don't have associated with service plans. So this is very, very beneficial, because you're also going to be able to scroll down and see what clients specifically do and do not have those service plans. And if we ever need to search up a specific client, this is also a way that you can see if they have it or not without having to pull each individual client up. All very helpful with saving that time yet again. And then we can also see over here to the right that we have all of the meetings that were completed for the year, all of the scheduled meetings, And then if we have any meeting minutes for those, we can see those right here as well. Then down here, we're able to see the clients. We're able to see what type of plans they are. We can see the services that we're offering. If it's an investment review, a benchmarking, share class review, whatever it is going to tell us the proposed month that we do have according to our service plans. It is very important to know that the only type of services that will show on here are the ones that we do have created service plans for. So just make sure to keep that in mind if you're looking like, oh, do I have a client that has an investment review? But if you see here with ABC, this ABC company, that there's not a service plan created for them. So we would not be able to see what services or what type of reports that we do need to generate and finish still. So you can see it's going to also give us the status of the report and if we have meeting minutes created for that specific report as well. So a very, very helpful tool. And it also can keep us up to date and helping us stay very organized with if we have any meetings this week, if we have any this month. It's going to automatically show the quarter, as advisors do tend to attack the meetings on a quarterly basis, just making sure to keep them. And then we also can see it for the year. If we ever want, we can look up the specific client just by clicking here. And we can also search up a specific client here by typing in a name. Once we do that, if we do have a specific client that we want to go to, we are always able to click on the links here so that we can go straight to those reports or straight to that client and fill out more information if we would like. And if it is a client that we don't have that service plan for, and we're like, okay, my webinar client, I don't have a service plan, so why don't we build one out together? What we're going to do is we're going to go to that client. We're going to scroll down. We're going to go to the plan details section. Right under the general plan details, you're going to see service plan for the year. So with the service plan, there's 3 major functions for the service plan. 1 is to keep everyone on track. 2 is to show the client, show your plan sponsors and your clients the value that you bring. And then 3, keeping business organized and helping everyone understand what is going on. So what we're going to do here is start creating the service plan. When we go to create the service plan, it's very important to know the asset amounts that we do have. A second here. There we go. Perfect. And once we do this, if we do have a company template that somebody in our company has created or that we have already created, we can select that template. But if not, we here at RPAG have already created some general templates for everyone to use. So as this one does have 6 million in assets, what I'm going to do is choose the 5 million through 10 million. We're going to confirm. And then what's going to occur is we're going to see the RPAG template that we all do have created for this service plan with all of the services that we do believe are going to be most beneficial for this type of plan size. So you can see here we have an investment review, our TDF suitability review, our annual fee benchmarking, live bid, RFP, newsletters, and memos. So what we can do is we can scroll down. This is how you can really get to editing the service plan and customizing as you see fit. That is truly the best part of the service plan, is this the customization option that you have. So if we want to add in any services, all we have to do is check the box. If we want to add in a scorecard review, we can do that. Any fiduciary governance that we want to add in, if there's any employee education that we wish to add in, and employee engagement that we wish to add in, we can do that as well. A lot of members that I've talked to always love to have a good goal setting with their plan sponsors, as it is a very good one, just helping everybody to stay focused and on track. And if there is any services that we do not have that you wish to add, you can always click on the add service and add in your own custom service section right here. And then you can also choose what the category will be under. And then from there, we can always create a to-do if we wish to or not. Once we do that, we can save it, and you will see that it will get added into our lineup as well. From here, we do have the ability to then click and drag and move the service plans as we see fit. So if I wanted to move the custom service up, if I wanted to go to the, keep all of my reports as one. So I want to do the annual benchmarking with the client advocacy, whatever it is, I can always do that as well. And then when we come here, we can see that we have the service, the frequency, the proposed, and the schedule. I want to talk about the frequency first. So depending on how often you plan on meeting with a particular client, what you want to do is select how frequent you're going to meet. So you can do it annually, monthly, ongoing, quarterly, semi-annually, triannually, and upon request. With the investment reviews, we tend to see a lot of members doing it once a year. But if you want to do it more, you can always change the frequency to how you see. You can always keep the proposed as when you go to create it, it's automatically going to have the month that you have created it as the designated proposed month. All you would need to do is just select the month. And then from there, it will always stay in 2024 or whatever year that you do create it. And then the scheduled, what you would need to do is just come over to the scheduled date. And then since it is the 13th, if I am having an annual review on, let's say, next week on the 22nd, all I would need to do is just select the 22nd, and then it's going to ask what time the meeting will be held at. I can then set it for 4 p.m. on the 22nd. Then the service. This is going to be the best part with this, as this is going to be how you can actually show how you want it to appear, with not just within your report, but on your calendar as well on that homepage. So you can see I see I have a question here today. Is there any way to description of, yeah, so there is a way to, okay, so the question that I got is there a way for the custom service description to be applied across all client plans in the system? That's a great question. So yes, there is. That is going to be something that as you create the lineup that you want and that custom service, all you would need to do is just make sure to save it as a template. I'm going to get there in a little bit, but what you would need to do is when you create the layout how you wish and desire, all you need to do is just give this a name. And then whenever you go to create it as I'm creating this for my webinar client, I will be able to take that to the next client that I go to create a service plan for. For instance, if I'm going to create one for ABC, I can use that same template that I just created for my webinar client to ABC client, and it's going to have the exact same layout. All you would need to do is change your frequencies, your dates, and whatever it is that will be different, as they are going to vary client to client. So getting back to the edit portion of the service plan, we do have the ability to change the name of the service that we are offering. If we want, we can change the colors. I know a lot of members like to set the colors as, their company colors. So we can keep ours as blue for this. You can change the font as well. You can show any history for it if there's any to-dos. And then it's also going to have if it is a core service or non-core service. Core services are going to be included in your pricing. Non-core services will be ones that will be additional charges. We can change the frequency right here, as well as the meeting date. We can choose the meeting date. We can select the delivery method, if this meeting will be in person, virtual, or email only, however you do decide. And then the time zone will automatically be populating to the one that you have in the system. And you can always add in a location that you desire as well. With the descriptions, you're going to see these descriptions are going to be populating on the output of the report. So if there's any descriptions that you wish to add in from what we already do have in the general RPAG template, you can add them in, and that will also save in your template as well. If there's any internal comments, I want to show you. You can add in any internal comments that need to be known before the meeting, prior to the meeting, whatever it is. You can also see the scheduling notes if there's any questions about like who was there, where it was, anything that needs to be known for the scheduling notes, you can add that in as well. Once we save this service, it's then going to update our service plan, in which now you can see here that these are going to be the notes right here for the scheduling notes that I have added in, or the internal comments that I have added in will appear right there. And then if I ever want to see the output of this report, we can scroll up, see what it now looks like ever since I added in those other services. And we can always export this as a PDF, in which when we do export it as a PDF, it will now be a deliverable that is something that you can share with your plan sponsors, helping everybody to understand and stay on track for what the year has done. And you can see all of the services that we have added, the descriptions that we added in, the frequencies in which they happen, the target month, all right here. And as said before, once you have this saved as a template, it will be something that you can pull up whenever. And with this going into the next year, as I said before, this is something that will give you tremendous momentum, as you'll be able to just come over to the next year and hit copy previous. It's going to copy all of the exact services that we had for that specific client that we had the prior year. And it's going to have the same colors that we used, the same notes. All we would need to do is just change the frequencies that we had right here with the scheduled dates. But all of the notes that we took will remain the same. Refresh the page so you can see that happen. So now you can see it right here. And then if we look according to our legend, it will be something that all of the empty ones will be what you can see. Any of the empty boxes will be for dates that are proposed. Any of the hollowed boxes will be scheduled meetings that we do have. And then whenever they are solid colors, that means that we did host them or we did complete that service for our plan sponsors and our clients. Then the last tool I wanted to talk about was the to-dos. So with the to-dos, you're going to see under practice management, to-dos. With the to-dos, this is also a very, very helpful way of staying organized, as you have a to-do list of everything that you need to have completed. So we can do it by week, the next 30 days, next 90 days, or any past due items. If we wish to create anything, all we would need to do is hit the plus icon. If it's for the week, for the next 30 days, the next 90 days, we can select what type of to-do it will be. If it's the follow up with client, we can do that. If it will be an event that's going to take all day, we can check that box, and then you can even select the client that this will be for. We can then, if it is a prospect, you can do that as well. If it is a due date, we can come to the date that we would like it executed by. Make sure, as the meeting will be happening on the 22nd, I want to make sure that we follow up with the client by 6 p.m. So that way we have all day Thursday to add in anything that we might need. And then we can add in the location or any notes that we do have. So call Jane John. And once we do that, we can then hit save. Now with this, it's going to give you the option to either select all that are going to be on a call, all that are going to be via email, all that are going to be meeting, other, or a task. When you come to the to-dos, these will be items that will occur on your calendar. It is very important that, one, if you're looking for specific clients, that you do filter by specific clients, or if we want to look for assigned to, we can always look up at the assigned to users that we have given these tasks for. We can come here and we can, if we ever want to delete past due, we can always delete the older ones. If we want, we can always select all and delete all of them at once. We can filter this section so that it is going in order of the furthest to occur to the closest to occur dates. Then we also can see what specific clients we do have, the type of event it will be. If it's going to be a task, a meeting, a call, whatever will show here, who it's assigned to. And if we want to ever edit any of these, we can just click on the edit icon and we have that ability as well. We can also export this to an Excel document if we want to make sure that we have this all laid out so that we know for the next week or for, let's say for myself, if I wanted to see all of the to-do items that I needed to get completed, I can always click on this by assigned to, make sure to look myself up, and then export that so that I have that ready and handily available. Then I want to go to the calendar. So as we have added in numerous service plans, we've added in to-dos. What you can see here is that our calendar will start to populate with these events. And as they start showing with gray bubbles, as we have had them executed, not executed, we can see them starting to appear here. So on the 20th, I set that follow-up for that client. You can see that it's going to give me the description that I include, along with the date that it's occurring and what it will, whom it will be with. And then we can also see on those dates the webinar client that I have that annual review with. And all I would need to do is just make sure that I click on the date that it is, and everybody who has access to that client in my company will be able to see. And lastly, with the service plans, this is one that I like to always say is an X factor, because as said before, it is going to be something that helps everybody stay on track. So I know a lot of people may be like, oh, like, how are my clients going to always stay up to date with the service plan if they're not able to see? Well, they can actually always have access, because when you have the fiduciary briefcase, one of our additional services that we offer here, it's going to be a briefcase in which, instead of walking around with an actual briefcase, you can have an online briefcase so that nobody is ever out of the loop. And it's just super beneficial for running this type of practice and running this type of business, because it's going to help. This is going to be exactly what they are going to see on their end of, if we're going over the scorecard for the month, the investment reviews that we will be conducting, the annual benchmarking, whatever services that we have, they will be able to see in their briefcase as well. So that way, when you are going to a meeting, nobody's going to say that, oh, I didn't get the newsletter and memo, I didn't get that, because you can always come here and show exactly what you have provided for them with this service plan. We can also see if we wanted to ever edit or add any other services, those will be up to date as soon as we edit them as well. So that is going to be our 3 best ways of servicing your clients to the maximum extent.
There's several ways to get a hold of us. Pick your favorite phone number. We have email support. Just email us directly, and we will get back to you in a timely manner. Again, I'd like to express appreciation for your partnership, for trusting in us. If there are other ways that we can support you, anything even out of the box, challenge us. We're creative. If you're having some kind of particular challenge, we are here to help. Thank you so much. I go after your clients and make sure you hold on to them for the new year, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much to Duran for all your work today, but thank you to all of you for your partnership.